Hi friends, and welcome back to another episode of TT Reacts. Okay, so first video, best so far. Okay. Very peculiar, but I like it. Honestly, I've never seen one like this. It honestly looks kind of fake. Just the way she's suspending. Okay. So this person here is using a lot of chest to hold this movement up. Something that's interesting about this movement is it looks like she has posterior pelvic tilt and her feet are in just such an awkward position. But yes, this is very interesting. So it's not really necessary to use this much chest. If she would use slightly less chest than this, it could be in a more upright position. And I would encourage the squeezing of the ankles or just putting your feet together at the top of the movement. But in terms of the integrity of this handstand, I do think that it is an integral handstand. It just is a very peculiar looking handstand. So I don't know what this person is doing for training. She didn't really write anything in her bio. But definitely just practice how you play, and the way that you want your handstand to turn out should be the exact way that you're practicing. So if you want to have a nice straight handstand, make sure that you are practicing in a way that facilitates a straight handstand and using all of your muscle groups correctly so that it's not overly relying on one muscle group. You really should be using all of them and having them work together, because if you use only one muscle group, or you burn your chest out, or you burn your shoulders out, or, I mean, you really can't burn only your core out, but mostly your chest and your shoulders. If you don't balance it correctly when it comes to doing a handstand for a long time upside down, you can burn one muscle out and not really get any benefit in the other areas of your body that could also benefit your handstand. So yeah, this lady here, encourage you to try this workout just so that you can get a more upright position and just figure out where your feet need to be in that movement so it's not looking so awkward at the top of the movement. And just overall getting the basic form down for a handstand. I also noticed she's pointing her feet, which is very, very strange. Very strange handstand here. Very strange. But yes, I do encourage the circuit drills, and you should be fine because you're already clearly strong enough. You have the balance. It's just the form that needs some help. And really, we shouldn't be focusing on pointing our feet if we don't even know that we need to have our feet together in the first place. We need to go in order and just do the stuff that's important before doing the aesthetic stuff. Because pointing your feet in this video here, you can tell it didn't do anything to improve the handstand. It doesn't, I mean, your legs are bent to begin with. It's not doing anything for your core engagement. It's not doing anything. There's really no benefit to pointing your feet. So let's not prioritize stuff that's not important at this stage, because you're clearly still pretty early on, or intermediate at least. So yeah, let's do stuff in order so that we can prevent injury and unnecessary roadblocks in our training as it pertains to a handstand. After a while, still bendy. Okay. I do like this lady's handstand that we are seeing in this video. The only thing that I noticed straight away is how her arms were straight when she kicked up, and then she bent them throughout the movement, which is why I believe the handstand did not really last. Because when you're doing a handstand, you really have to commit to the movement. And when you start bending your arms early on, especially, but just in general, if you start bending your arms, it's just not going to be tight. Even if it looks like it's stable from afar, you can always tell it's not fully stable. And the reason for that is when you fully tighten up, it allows you to really get your breathing patterns to, it really allows you to learn to breathe through the toughest part of the handstand. If you're only ever getting to 75% of your handstand's potential and you're learning to breathe through that, you're only going to be able to last a few seconds at 100% because you never practice at 100%, which is what you can see commonly in a lot of videos where a handstand looks perfectly straight, looks really strong, but they're complaining that they cannot last very long. It's because they're training, when they're doing their training, they're only doing it at 75%. They're not making sure their arms are straight. They're not making sure their core is engaged the entire time. They're having an arch in their back for like half of the training session. They're not training at 100%. They're not engaging their muscles at 100%. So they're never going to know how to breathe through the movement at 100%. That's why you see so many people complaining that they cannot hold their handstand, even though they did everything right. They think they're doing it perfectly, but most of your training is not good form, which is why I encourage these circuit drills, because it forces you to, at least for that 20-second interval, to work at 100%. And even for me, I'm advanced. It absolutely kills my shoulders to do that drill for 20 seconds for 4 rounds. It is a killer. So just doing the correct things leading up to your handstand and just getting the endurance and getting the breathing through these workouts definitely will have the biggest impact on your handstand overall, which is why I encourage the circuit drills and just in general working at 100% in your training and not treating it as dilly-dally time and just play around time and record myself doing a handstand and laying down on the wall. It just isn't beneficial to you, first and foremost. But it certainly does not advantage anyone in the group who may be seeing that movement and thinking that's how you're supposed to train. You can just tell in these videos that it's not training. It's just, I don't even really know what you would call what a lot of these videos are, because you can tell it's not serious. And one time someone even came onto one of my videos I posted and told me that handstands are not a workout. But that would be your first mistake, is treating a handstand as anything else, because in every single workout, there is risk involved, and a handstand is extremely high risk, and it's extremely demanding on your body. The training for a handstand is extremely demanding. So we really should be treating it as something that is important, that is a workout, and something that is dangerous, because that's exactly what a handstand is. Next video. 0 to 15 seconds in 7 days. Okay. So I wish he would have included a little bit more footage of his training so that we could properly gauge what he's been doing. Let me read his bio. He doesn't mention anything about his training, but you can see in this video here, in the first video, it looks like he did have a banana arch. In the beginning, it looked like he almost kind of bent his knee. So I don't really know what he did with his training. But you can definitely see that he has an integral handstand somehow. I mean, not very common in 7 days to have this much progress at all. You can see his chest is engaged pretty well. His handstand is pretty straight. He might be using just a little bit too much chest, but overall for 1 week of training, his form is pretty darn good. And I don't know if his core is engaged. See more of this video. But it does look like his core is engaged. Yep, very, very, very solid. So, yeah, good job to this person. It can be done. I just wish he would have included a little bit more about his training. He might be pretty strong. He might have had good balance already. But in any event, it is possible, if your training is correct, to make very fast progress. Honestly, guys, it shouldn't take that long. unless you're coming from zero muscle mass at all. If you have even a little bit of muscle and you're training and doing the correct training, it really should not take more than a few months to hold it for 10 seconds. But obviously everyone's body is different. The biggest issue I find is that the training is just so bad that it either is leading to pain that prevents people from wanting to do handstands, or it's just leading to nowhere and they never reach their goals, so they just stop doing it. And it's really sad to even see that happen, because when you try to give them advice, they're not taking it. What else can you do in that situation? So, yeah, guys, it can be done. And if you're doing it, just make sure you're doing the correct things. Make sure that your training is leading somewhere and not just leading to a dead end. Because the worst thing to feel is like you wasted your time and put your energy and effort into something that's never really going to lead anywhere. It's just not a good feeling. But alright guys, that was the last video. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And if you liked the video, you already know what to do. And subscribe. But if you'd like to be featured, go ahead and send your video to this email right here, and you may see it in an upcoming video. But until next time, ciao!